Hey everybody, it's that time again. I tell you what, when I asked for questions last night, y'all have been just amazing. I cannot believe how many questions we got. I have 22 pages of questions. 22 pages. And I can't wait to get started. So, y'all gave me everything that I could possibly think about. Hey, Melissa. Okay, so I've been reading questions. Now, some of the questions are rather long, but you know, it kind of gives you insight into what's going on. So, I'm going to just randomly pick out my sister Patty put all these questions together for me. They came from email and they came from Facebook. So, hey Judy from Spring City, I know where that is. My sister used to live there. Okay, I'm going to pick out one of them right here. Love you too, Amanda. Okay, so I'm going to pick out one sheet. Yes, I have my Sharpie ready to check things off. We got people from all over, from Italy and Venice, Italy, and I think I saw Germany. I can't scroll back, but anyway, let me see if I can readjust this just a tad. That's better. Yeah. Okay, so this first question is from Annie B, and she lives not far from me in the next county over. She's been a long time FlyBaby, and this is just random, so I'm just gonna read it. So, let's see. Annie says, I am cheating. Yep, because this is for payroll people. I am not a payroll FlyBaby, but I do face the same problems every year when I volunteer to do taxes for AARP. A yearly commitment of about 3 months. Suddenly, I am doing 8-hour days outside the home, or 4 hours plus work at home, another 4 hours. And my flying seems to crash and burn. How do you plan meals when you don't know what time you will get home? I tend to work the morning shift, technically finishing about 1 p.m., but often it's more like 2 to 3 before I get home. By that time, I'm famished as well as exhausted. I need a routine for both my meals on bad days, and I also feed my husband in my absence. I'm sure there's a way, but I cannot seem to think of one. How do you handle days when you can't cook a noon meal and I'm too tired to cook when I get home in the afternoons? Okay. Annie B, I have the solution for you. It's real simple. When you cook the rest of the time of year, you're only doing this 3 months out of the year. It's not like it's every day. It's 3 months out of the year. I want you to invest in some segmented plates, little bento boxes that can go in your freezer. That way, when you have leftover pot roast, when you have leftover taco stuff, all those things that you have left over that you put in the refrigerator and then you have to throw out the next week on Wednesday because you hadn't touched it, I want you to start building you some TV dinners. Yes, we grew up with TV dinners, and TV dinners can feed us when we're hungry. But another thing is that You can utilize those TV dinners for lunches to take with you so you're not so famished when you get home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That you've taken time to eat while you're working. So this is going to make it so much better. These things are relatively inexpensive on Amazon. Find them. I've shared with you this week some of them. And just start putting together your leftovers. Now, you can actually cook a meal if you want to and divide it up into all these containers. And that way you've got these wonderful meals that you've made. And they're in your freezer. Now label them. You make sure you label them, because if you don't label them, there's going to be mystery lunches and dinners. And that way somebody can grab one out of the refrigerator, out of the freezer, and thaw it up, and bam, they've got a dinner, and you don't have to worry about cooking for them. They can feed themselves. My husband does this all winter long. I travel sometimes, and he has things packed away in the freezer. He gets out when we make a big pot of chili, he'll bag it up in 2-cup portions, and he'll put it in the freezer for him to have a couple of a lunch or a dinner out of when I'm traveling. So you can do this if you will just think ahead a little bit and not throw your leftovers in the trash. I think that covered most of her questions. Also, you can start a crock pot, and you can put in some spaghetti sauce and some different things, and then when you get home, dinner's ready. All you got to do is cook some pasta, and you're good to go. So that gets Annie B taken care of for those seasonal people who volunteer a lot. It's a nice thing to do. And I got to make a check mark. Okay, the next person on this page is Chandra. She says, Dear Fly Lady, as a payroll she, now those of you who don't know what a she is, it's a sidetracked home executive. And that term comes from Pam Young and Peggy Jones, a book that they wrote in the 70s. So it's sidetracked home executive. We're all that. As a payroll she and a fluttering flybaby, a challenge for me is to follow menu planning around my son's sports, scouts, and other events. Sometimes we ate more fast food than would like. Sometimes I could bring home cooked meals, but often not. Or an impromptu gathering of the kids after an event threw my plans out the window. What advice would you have for other moms in this situation? My sport mom days are gone, but I know many still struggle. This is from California Flybaby. Well, the thing you have to realize is these kids need to eat. They're starving, especially if they're in all of these sports. And putting together wholesome snacks that you take with you so that they can graze, so to speak, and having things that can be cooked easily, like soups and sandwiches. There's nothing better after a sports day than a cup of soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. So you can make a pot of soup and have it ready to go. All you got to do, you can put it in a big pitcher, a tall pitcher that's sealable, and you take out 2 scoops and heat things up and make some grilled cheese sandwiches, and you can feed these kids pretty well. Now, having an assortment of soups is good. Leanne has a great soup recipe that you can add some different toppings to it to change the flavor from Italian to Mexican and that sort of thing. But the main thing is that you just have to get them some good snacks so that they're not so famished. Okay, I get to put another check mark. That's 21 pages left. Okay. I'm going to lay that right over here in my pile of stuff. I'm so excited. Okay, now, let's see. I'm not looking, because I haven't read any of these questions. This is the first time for me. I did read the very last question, but it was too cute. It had a picture with it. Okay, this is from Vanna, and she doesn't say where she's from. How do you break up routines to fit smaller chunks of time? Oh, this is brilliant. Smaller chunks of time. Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So let's just say you need to do your floors. You need to run the dust mop or the wet mop, either one. With our new mop and the chenille head, get it. You can use this thing wet and you can run it over your floors and then leave it out on the porch to dry, and quickie. It's a 2-minute quickie to do your floors. And they're done. They don't have to be perfect. You just have to get the middles. But she wants to know, how do you break up routines into smaller chunks of time? Well, I use a timer for this. And another thing you can do is to take your routine and put it into, hey Conda, put it into little strips of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them. Fold them up and put them in a bowl. I have a little owl bowl. Doesn't he look smart? Matches my shirt today. Fold them up and put them in here. See, you could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you pull one out and you go do that one thing. Smaller limits of time, you're not thinking about it, and you're good to go. That's how you break it up. What happens to those of us who don't have a lot of time at one point together is that we tell ourselves we don't have time, but we do have 2 minutes. So set your timer for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes can do it. Set your timer for 2 minutes and just go do something on that list. Run your finger along your little morning routine list and just pick something. You don't have to want to do it, but you only got to do it for 2 minutes, so why not? See, the 2 minutes makes it doable. The 2 minutes makes it easy. The 2 minutes stops us from procrastinating. Now, I want to tell everybody, as I put in the little intro that I wrote before I went live, all of these tips work for any of you, whether you work outside the home or you are at home working and homeschooling. These tips are amazing and they will work for everybody, but you just got to do them. You can't just say, well, these are only for payroll FlyBabies. Well, that's a cop-out when you say, well, that's not going to work for me. And that's why the payroll FlyBabies have had such a hard time with the Fly Lady system, is that they thought it was only for stay-at-home moms. Well, that's not the case. Half of our members, the last time I did a survey, which was a couple of years ago, 45% of them worked outside the home. Another 45% stayed at home taking care of their children. They couldn't make enough money that would pay them to work outside the home and, have a sitter or have daycare. And then another 10% work at home at a full-time job and take care of their families. Tammy does this. She has a full-time job. Really, she has 2 or 3 of them, but she has a full-time job and she homeschools. So utilizing some of these tips is going to help all of you. And I know a lot of people have home-based businesses and they work hard. They work really hard establishing their businesses and keeping up with their clients. We have to just let go of the perfectionism that creates the perfectionism that creates the procrastination. That's a lot of P's right there. That causes us to, put things off. Let's stop that. I just got through writing an essay for tomorrow that is brand new, and it deals with that whole situation of how we don't take care of things, how we don't, we let our perfectionism take over. And you're going to love this new one. So I get to check one off. There's 3 on this page. That's from Vanna. Thanks, Vanna, for this one came from email, I believe. Okay. Next question. Thank you, whoever said my haircut looks good. I'm enjoying it. It feels better. I don't look like Steve Bannon anymore. And how I was going to get my hair cut, I was really glad I got it cut off. Cut off not the way I wanted to get it cut off, because Robert wanted me to get a little, it was some skater, Dorothy Hamill. That's what Robert thought I should have. And I didn't like that one. And my hairdresser had picked out something, and I'm just glad I didn't get it, because somebody just got her hair cut like that, and I don't want to look like that. Anyway, I won't say who, but she has a new book out. Anyway, and I'm reading the book. I read all sides. This is from Rachel. I have 2 dear daughters who will do anything to avoid doing what I tell them. Well, of course, they're daughters. For example, pick up your flip-flops and put them away. Usually yields a half-hearted okay with no follow-up until I tell them again, or 6 times. Oh my. Then they will often just leave them on the floor instead of doing the going to put them away part. I'm exceedingly frustrated with their behavior. I refuse to do anything myself, but I'm having a very difficult time getting them to do just the basics of taking care of their own things. They are 10 and 13 years old. Any advice? Tired of living in a cluttered house, a FlyBaby from California. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened many years ago when Kelly worked with us. She had a 11-year-old daughter, and they had a rule that backpacks weren't supposed to stay in the living room. And she warned the kids. She just warned the kids that if she found their backpack in the living room, that it would be out on the front lawn. Well, the next time there was a little girl's backpack in the living room, it got put out on the front lawn. And guess what? She came looking for her backpack, and it wasn't there. And she came to her mom, I can't find my backpack. Where did I tell you I was going to put it? And yep, there it was out in the middle of the lawn, and it never happened again. Another thing that Pam and Peggy did once upon a time, the kids would leave their things out, and they would take them if they were able. Let's just say, for instance, flip-flops. They would put them in a pan of water and freeze them in the freezer. So you could stick them in a Ziploc bag with some water in there, and then when they started looking for their flip-flops, you'd say, oh, I put those in the freezer. They were left out on the floor. You will get their attention, and it won't happen again, because they'll have to thaw them out to wear them. So that's one way. And if you'll set a timer and everybody do it together, like everybody pick up and put their stuff away. So set a timer for 2 minutes. Give everybody a grocery bag or a box or you name it, a tote bag. I don't care. Everybody gets their own little bag, and they run around the house, and tell them they only have to do it for 2 minutes. And really, it only takes 1 minute to run around the house and pick up this stuff. And try it. It could be fun. And you get some stuff put away, and your house is going to look nice. Hot spots are going to be empty. The shoes are going to be in the bedrooms where they belong. Bam. I like to do this. Okay, this is from Cindy. She doesn't say, she said she's in North Carolina. Cindy says, this is good practice for me. I'm not real good at reading out loud. So reading the whole question, and some of them can get long. I got one that's one whole page. A couple of things that I struggle with as a payroll flybaby is how jealous I feel toward my friends and family who do not have to go to a job every day. I feel like I give my workplace 40 hours a week of the best of myself, and then I am too tired to give my husband and dear daughter the time and energy they deserve from me. I know I need to be good to myself, and I know to do baby steps with my routines and decluttering. But I see my friends who do not work outside the home with their beautiful, neat homes, doing fun things with their families, doing big vacations, and I have a pity party as I get my clothes ready for work the next day. I know I'm blessed to have a job, and I have such a great family. I just needed to vent and say, please help me with my stinking thinking. Well, you've already called it. It's stinking thinking. You don't know their situation at home. You have no idea what's going on there. And for you to make yours be equal or unequal or whatever it is, we're not supposed to be envious of another person. That's just wrong. And you've got to be thankful that they're able to stay home. You would stay home in a heartbeat if you could. But you have a career. This is something you've chosen to do with your life. And you can do this if you'll quit thinking the grass is greener on the other side, because it may not be. You don't know what that family's going through. So you've got to take care of your little home, and you got to start pacing yourself. At work, quit rushing around. You're living on adrenaline, and that adrenaline just wears you out. It's like running at a pedal to the metal, 90 miles an hour. You got to pace yourself. You got to pace yourself and not give it all at the office. I know you give a lot at the office, but you don't have to be so exhausted when you get home. So learn to take breaks at work too. OSHA tells employers that you need a 10 o'clock break and a 3 o'clock break if you're working 8 hours a day. So take your breaks, enjoy them. Replenish your batteries during the day. Sometimes you just need to breathe. Just breathe a little. Sit at your desk and just breathe and close your eyes. And that's going to help you not be so exhausted. But let go of that stinking thinking when it comes to your friends and family. Because just because they stay home doesn't mean that they have more time than you. Because they have other friends like you who think that they have all the time in the world. And that's not the case. They could be homeschooling, which is working a good many hours a week teaching your children. So let go of that attitude and be thankful, which you are being thankful. But you vented, and that's good. But stop it. You vented one time. Don't keep egging it on, and don't keep stirring that pot of you know what, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And your salary provides for your family. So be thankful that you have a job. A lot of people don't. Okay, that's 3 more down. Got to put my cap back on my pen. Okay, here we go. I should have numbered them and let y'all pick a number. Maybe I'll do that next week because we ain't going to get through all of these. We are not going to get through all of these. I bring the papers up and it changes the color. Okay, here's another one. Another one bites the dust. Okay, this is from Rochelle. How do I fly as a substitute teacher and part work from home mom who has all kinds of ideas to make stuff and possibly sell, but can't stand to organize the hot spots around the house already? We're in a new area and I'm still unpacking stuff in the garage and my closet. Yikes, I'm in 3 places at once and totally burnt out. Signed, mom of 3 busy tweens and teens and an energetic cat. P.S. My husband is only in one place at a time. Thank God he pays the bills. I know that for a fact. My husband pays the bills now too, that he's retired. I used to do it all and occasionally something would fall through the cracks, but now he does it. And what I want you to stop doing, let me give you an example. I have a blue tick hound dog. And this hound dog has a nose like you wouldn't believe. But if he went out chasing 3 rabbits instead of just 1, he wouldn't catch any of them. So you got to start, instead of trying to be in 3 places at one time, pick one. Just pick one. That's all you got to do. Pick one. And make those little slips of paper and put them in a bowl and pick one and do 2 minutes on that. You can get rid of hot spots. I mean, we used to call them 2-minute hot spot challenges. And you can get rid of a lot of hot spots if you do it every day. If you do it morning, noon, and night. Those hot spots can go away. And, setting your timer, and if you want to play around with making some stuff, you can. But if your craft room or your craft area is so junked up, spend 2 minutes, morning, noon, and night, getting this craft area in order so you can make some things. And your closet's the same way. Unpacking, breathe. You got lots of unpacking to do, but that stuff's in the garage. Bring 1 box in a day. I have a friend who's in the Dallas area, and she made herself a little chart. And Monica did such a great job, but Tammy helped her. Tammy mentors her, and she made dates. She put the dates on a sheet of paper, and then she put boxes. And her goal was 27 boxes in the next couple of weeks. So every time she gets a box unpacked, put away, and stuff decluttered, she's marking that box off. What a great way to keep up, to be consistent. See, it's the consistency of unpacking a box and decluttering as you do it that's going to change the way you feel about that piling up on you. And the closet in your bedroom, we get around to that every week. It's next week, by the way. We're going to be in our master bedroom. This week we're in our main bathroom. Next week we're in the master bedroom. That means our closet and our master bathroom is going to get worked on, and our beds. So stop spreading yourself too thin. 1 item at a time, 1 area at a time, and just make your little morning routine, afternoon routine, and before bed routine. That's all you got to do. And just go down it 1 step at a time. Okay, this is from Wendy. Wendy, I have a bit of a different but becoming more common lifestyle. I'm a stay-at-home, homeschooling mother of 4. However, I also work 4 part-time jobs, 3 of them out of my home. So I am a payroll FlyBaby, but I'm also at home with my kids, and my kids are at home all day instead of at someone else's daycare or schooling, making messes there. They do chores and help out, but some days it feels impossible to keep up. What tips do you have for those of us stay-at-home moms who also work on a payroll from home. Maybe we can't have it all. Well, not flying, but trying. Well, trying, you're not flying. Trying is lying. You got to do. I think wasn't it Yoda who said, it's somebody find the quote for me, that about try and do, so Yoda, long time ago. It may have been somebody else who said, I don't know. But the main thing you got to keep up with, you have 4 part-time jobs. You got to touch on those every single day. But your main job is homeschooling those kids. That comes first. If you have chosen to homeschool, you need to be all in with that. So you get up in the morning, you get dressed to lace up shoes. The kids get dressed to lace up shoes just like they're going to public school. And you start school at the same time every day. You hear me? Same time every day. And that way, while the kids are doing their work, you get them started. They need, Tammy always starts with math with the kids. They need a fresh brain for that. But before you start school, everybody has their things they have to do. At Tammy's house, they have to feed the animals and different things outside. You have got to take care of the house before you start school. And it's a simple morning routine. Make sure everybody's had breakfast and the kitchen is cleaned up, the dishwasher's started, bam. Beds are made, everybody's dressed to lace up shoes. Got it? And then as the kids are working, you can work on your other jobs for a few minutes at a time. Maybe in the morning you do one thing, and in the afternoon you work on another thing, and in the evening you do something else. So that way you prioritize what's most important. Kids, education is the most important. And don't wear the badge, our house is messy, because we homeschool. Don't wear that. We homeschool. Therefore, our house can never be clean. It can be clean. You keep everybody in the same room, working, doing the same thing, staying all together. It's called unit studies. I know all about this stuff from all the homeschool conferences. You can do it, Wendy. You can have it all if you will just learn to prioritize and quit saying, I don't have time. I don't have time. You've committed to these 4 part-time jobs, and you have to do this. Your commitment means something, at least to you. You might want to work on a basic weekly plan for your jobs too. Like Monday you work this one, Tuesday you do this one, Wednesday you do this one. But you got to get the kids started with school. If not, send them to public school. Okay, another question. I'm going to go for the last page. It's really cute. That's the only one I read. I didn't print out the picture that she sent with it, but it was a 12-year-old sleepyhead dog in her bed. And Joanne says, it's 9:21 and I still can't make the bed yet. I have a 12-year-old sleepyhead in it, and it was the cutest little puppy, cutest little dog you've ever seen, all snuggled in under the covers. Let me tell you how I do that. I have a cat, and that cat's 10 years old, I guess. His name is Penrod. He's a white cat. And he loves to sleep in the crook of Robert's knee. That's his favorite place to sleep. And when I get up in the morning and Robert gets up in the morning, that cat is still in the bed with us. And if I can't make the bed up when when Robert first gets up, because I really got to go to the bathroom really fast. So I go to the bathroom and I get dressed, and then I come back in. If the cat's still in the bed, I gently pick him up and put him on the cedar chest, and I make up the bed. And then I take this little blankie and fold it in half and put him back. It's like he's been put on his own little pad on the bed. And he sleeps there all day sometimes. But I made the bed up. I just move him a little and then move him back, and he's just as happy as he can be. So that's how I deal with a critter in the bed. You make him his own bed and make him feel good. Okay, thanks, Joanne. That was a good question. Because some of us who go off to work have to deal with husbands left in the bed. How do you deal with that? Well, when your husband's still in the bed, you let him sleep. If he has to work late at night, you let him sleep. You can make the bed up when you get home. Okay. This is from Craig Holt. Okay. Hi, Marla. I am a busy... This is from Paula. They must use the same email address. This is from Paula. I'm a busy mother with a full-time job. I was going to ask how to get my family more involved in helping me around the house. However, I actually already know the answer. I have noticed now that I am actively doing my daily routines and keeping the house up. Family members have noticed. My son told me recently that he likes the house like this. Oh, wow, I'm going to cry. And wanted to know what he could do to help. Where's my hanky? My daughter and husband are doing more than before, too. Thank you so much for the changes you've helped make in my home and in me. Forever grateful, Paula. That's worth the whole show right there. Because if you set the example in love, they're going to follow you. They are going to follow you. She already knew the answer. You got to do it in love, though, because if you do it nagging and nag and come and get your flip-flops 6 times, that's nagging. Don't nag. Nobody loves a nag. Not even you. How precious is that? I got to take my glasses off. I got tears rolling down my face. Okay. Good to go. I think my hair is a little bit too long on the sides, though. It's going to have to get cut a little more. Okay, this is from Natalie. I keep wondering if I'm the only payroll she who struggles with 15 minutes of decluttering. After being 10 hours outside the house on Monday through Friday, I have found it's a miracle to swish and swipe a load of laundry a day, cook, and blessing my home, before bed routine, and keeping my car and purse clean. I have even begun doing some of the missions, but I keep finding myself saying and thinking, I don't have time to declutter. I stopped the missions and still haven't started decluttering. All my clutter is hidden from view, so it's easy to keep putting it off until I open a cabinet and start getting attacked by things flying out. I know the big part is my perfectionist procrastinating brain. I just don't know when to schedule these 15 minutes, getting everything else done without feeling that I have no time for myself during the week. Thank you for the attention to the FlyBabies, Payroll FlyBabies this week, Natalie. Well, maybe the problem is 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a big hunk of time. Try walking around the house for a solid 15 minutes if you're not used to walking around the house. I know, because I've been trying to do it. Break it down into 2 minutes. And instead of trying to look at the whole house to declutter, then just open up one of those drawers and go in there and pluck 5 things out of it and put it in the giveaway bag, or 5 things to throw away that's trash. Break it down. 2 minutes. This week we're in the bathroom. When you're getting dressed in the morning, clean out one of the drawers in your bathroom cabinet, or throw away some medicine. That's decluttering. It doesn't have to be an all-day job or even 15 minutes. It just has to be 2 minutes. 2 minutes can make That's 2 minutes to piece. 2 minutes of decluttering is going to save you so much time of picking up and putting it back in that cabinet when it fell out and attacked you. So the next time everything falls out of the cabinet, it's saying to you, declutter me. And declutter it right then. That's a do it now principle. I did an interview the other day with Realtor.com, and it was so cute. She sent the message. I said, call me. Gave her my phone number. She called me immediately, and I said, I already like you. You do the do it now principle. Let that attacking plasticware falling out of the cabinet door teach you that it's time to declutter. And, you know, if you set a timer, it won't even take you 2 minutes to go through whatever's falling out of that cabinet and get rid of it because you're not using it. And you probably couldn't find the lid to it anyway. So toss it out. 2 minutes. 2 minutes is all it takes. Quit looking at what you can't do and think about what you can do. There's no excuse for not doing 2 minutes. 2 minutes is not going to kill anybody. And it's not going to take away time from taking care of you either. You're trying to weigh them, and you don't need to weigh them. Because getting rid of the clutter, the missions that Rebecca sends out, those missions are amazing. And they usually take only 2 minutes. You'd be surprised at how fast you can do those missions. And that's your zone cleaning. Those missions are just zone missions. Decluttering, you can declutter in your zone. Another fun way to declutter is grab a grocery sack, one of those plastic ones, run around the house and gather up 27 items of trash. You know what I'm talking about. 27, it could be 27 pieces of paper. But gather up 27 items to get rid of. And then you put it in the trash can or in the recycle bin, wherever you need to put it. I put it in my fireplace and it gets burned. And then run around the house with a bag and gather up 27 random items to give away and take it straight to the car so you can drop it off the next time you're at Goodwill or you go by one of the trucks parked in the Walmart parking lot. 27 fling boogie. I used to do it 3 times a day. And that was 27 and 27. That's 54 times 3. See how many things you can get out of your house? If you'll just do it. 27 things at a time. That's a fun way to do it. 27 fling boogie. That name was born when I first started getting decluttered because we couldn't walk in our house. I'm telling you. We had paths. I didn't dare get up in the middle of the night because you might stump your toe or fall over something. And so it was scary because when Robert and I got married, we both had a house full of clutter. And when we got married, we put it together. You couldn't walk in our house. So I started doing the 27 fling boogie because I had a friend who gave me a book on feng shui. I don't know why she gave me a book on feng shui, but she did, and I read it, and it was 101 ways to get rid to feng shui your home. It was just a simple little book. It was cute. I don't even know if it's in print anymore, but one of the things they said is just move 9 things. So maybe rearrange the things on your mantle or just move 9 things around. Well, I was also reading another book, Susie Orman's book, 9 Steps to Financial Freedom, which is a great book. I wanted to get, more financially aware of what was going on in my life, that sort of thing. And it said to run around the house and gather up 25 things of trash. And 25. So me, being the perfectionist that I am, I said, okay, let me blend the 2 together. That's how I came up with the 27 fling boogie. 9 times 3 is 27. There you go. And I got my house organized, got rid of the clutter with the 27 fling boogie. Doing it morning, noon, and night. You can too. And it was fast. So fast you don't even think about what you're throwing away. So you can pick up things. It's real easy to go through a bag of paper and get rid of 27 pieces of paper. So there we go. My house phone is ringing, and it makes a weird noise. I hope we can't hear it in here. I got another check mark. See, that's a fun thing. If you'll put your morning routine, afternoon routine, and before bed routine. So you might not call it your afternoon routine. It's your get home from work routine. So maybe you need to get out of your dress clothes and put on some casual clothes. And put back on your lace-up shoes because you've been in dress shoes to most of the day. Change your clothes. Pick out your clothes for tomorrow while you're doing that. And it'll make it so much easier with that get home from work routine. And then you can start dinner and you're not going to mess up your good clothes. Okay, this one's done. Okay, we've done 4 pages, so I still got 18 left. What's 9 times 3? 9 times 3 is 27. That's how the 27 Fling Bookie was born. Okay. I got 2 more questions. Y'all were good. You listened to me and you helped me out. Thank you so much. This is from Michelle with 2 L's. I'm a payroll flybaby, a mother of 3, 23, 11, and 2, and the CEO in and out of home. I usually wake at 4:30 a.m. to complete my morning routine and leave for work by 6:30. She's given herself plenty of time. I'm really proud of that. I usually don't get home until after 6 p.m., so she's gone from the house almost 12 hours every day. As a naturally early riser, I tend to get tired about 8 p.m. and really sleepy about 8:30. Well, you're getting up at 4:30. You need 8 hours. You're listening to your body. How can I cook dinner and complete my evening routine with only 2 hours to cook and eat and get myself and the children ready for bed? Well, the main thing is in the morning, you may have to take on Saturday, let's just say, after you do all your grocery shopping, you chop all your veggies that you're going to use during the week. Menu planning is essential to making sure you can cook, because if you don't have the food in the house, it's hard to cook. So menu planning is the key to getting dinner on the table and utilizing your indentured servants, as Leanne always called them. Your crock pot, your bread machine, not that many of us are eating bread these days, but you know what I mean. Put something in your crock pot every day so that half the dinner's cooked. All you really got to do is either make some pasta to go with it or a sandwich to go with a soup, and you've got dinner on the table. Dinner is cooked. I've got to where I like to eat dinner a little bit earlier than normal. Last night, we went to the fair. We had this favorite place we like to eat at the fair, McBride's. They're from down east in North Carolina, and they make the best barbecued chicken and Italian sausage and all kinds of good stuff. So we went to the fair, and I got all my steps in. Boy, did I. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Now, I'd like to eat a little earlier as it's getting darker out earlier, and Robert and I go walk around the park or something so that I'm getting steps in. Because I get bored really easy, y'all. And I've been walking around the house all summer. But getting stuff in the crock pot in the morning, and maybe you get it in the crock pot and you set it to come on you put it on a timer and you set it to come on about 9 in the morning instead of 6:30 in the morning. Or you can set it so that it goes through a warming cycle when it gets through. My crock pot does that automatically. It cooks for 8 hours. I can set it how many hours I want it to cook, and then it will simmer on warm the rest of the time. I love my all-clad Somebody gave it to me, and it was just a wonderful gift. And it's just got this great timer on it that you can do a lot of stuff with. Okay, I hope that helps you. You're doing well by going to bed at 8:30, Michelle. That's really good. Or 9 o'clock. That's really good that you're getting your 8 hours, because you have to get up at 4:30 to get out of the house. But as soon as you get up in the morning, get dressed. That's going to give you more time. Instead of dilly-dallying around the house, getting ready in the morning, you get dressed, and then you get the crock pot ready to go. I mean, you can have things already bagged up, ready to go. There's lots of crock pot meals. Leanne has dozens of them that you just bag up, put in the freezer, and then you just dump them in your crock pot. There you go. And then you get home at 6:30, feed the family, and you get everybody's baths and ready to go. And then you get up and do it again in the morning. Yay. This is from Danetia. Okay. She doesn't say where she's from. I don't see where she's from, but anyway, here it was a Facebook question. She says, in this current season of my life, I am working night shift from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. I have 2 kids at home and 2 who just returned to public school out of necessity. My home has been out of control for a long time. God has just really opened my eyes as to how important managing my home is. I barely sleep. When I get home, I have to make sure the kids are ready and decent for school and drop them off, then back and to be up and active for my 3-year-old and 1-year-old. My husband works all day. Please help. Where do I start? Okay, this is tough. You have to sleep. You get home at 6. You go to bed at 11. When are you sleeping? When are you sleeping? No wonder you're so frazzled. You have got to sleep. So in order for you to sleep, you may have to put the 3-year-old and the 1-year-old in some daycare a couple of days a week. Or at least a preschool for the 3-year-old. You've got to sleep, and you can't sleep with 2 kids in the house. That's called neglect. But you can't neglect yourself either. So you have got to figure out some ways to sleep while the kids are sleeping. They need naps, but you've got to do... This is not a good situation. This is not good. Maybe your husband can drop the kids off at school so that so the little ones can stay asleep and you can sleep with them. You got to get sleep, or you're never going to have any energy. You're never going to have any energy. So, are you working night shift every night? This is a lot of people who work shift work 12-hour shifts, and they're off. They work 3 days and then they're off 4, and then they work 4 days and they're off 3. You got to come up with this is almost an impossible situation. My phone is telling me I'm about out of power, but I'm going to see if I can get another question or two in the next 5 minutes. I'm going to put an X mark on that one because I don't think I answered it well for you. I apologize for that. But you've got to take care of yourself. You really have to. So you may have to put the kids into some preschool or daycare or something to get some rest. Okay. Next question. Okay, let's see what we got here. This is from Darlene. She says, this is a Facebook question. She says, I'm a claims adjuster and work long hours. I have the best housekeeper ever that had to retire because of her health, and now I struggle to find the time to brush my teeth, much less clean my house. My question is, are we to clean 15 minutes multiple times a day or just once? I am struggling to find time to even read the email. Overwhelmed in Texas. Well, Darlene, the main thing you have to do, you're just putting out fires, one fire after another. And I know what it's like to lose a housekeeper. A few years ago, I had this wonderful lady who needed work, and I really didn't need a housekeeper, but one day a week, I would pay her to come in and do my weekly home blessing hour. That's it. But she got a much better job. They had been struggling for a while. She got a much better job, and I really didn't need her because I can do my own housekeeping. And a lot of people think because they work, they can afford a housekeeper. But when you look at it, affording the housekeeper is just, you're spending money that you can do. You really can do this. Now, if you will start getting up and getting dressed to lace up shoes way before you have to leave the house. A lot of times we drag around because we have plenty of time. That's what we tell us. I got another hour and a half before I have to leave. Why do I need to get dressed? Get up and get dressed with a purpose. Because when you're dressed to lace up shoes, you can get some stuff done in your house. Believe me, it only takes 2 minutes to do your floors. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to dust your house if you use a feather duster. 2 minutes. That's all it takes. And you'll get so much stuff done in the morning. I'm a morning person. Well, I'm a night person too, but I used to be I would get up at 15 minutes till 6, the rest 6 when I was working outside the home. And I would get up sometimes I'd get up at 5:30. If I was going to bake a cake, because my family liked cake for breakfast, and I gave them cake for breakfast. Sometimes I made homemade biscuits and country ham, but I got up and I made something for them to eat in the morning, homemade. But I didn't get dressed to lace up shoes until after my husband left for school. I would get dressed then. If I had been getting up and getting dressed in that 15-minute time, I would have been ready to go. I mean, amazing things could have gotten done in that house. So let me go to I lost my place. Anyway, so getting up and getting dressed before you have to leave. I mean, first thing, focus. You're going to find more times. And your morning routine gets the daily maintenance done. If you're doing weekly home blessing, one thing a day, that's 10 minutes at the most. But I can sometimes do 2-minute weekly home blessings and get it done in 15 minutes. Bam. 15 minutes, a weekly home blessing. It's called Hit a Lick a Snake, Do What I Can, and bam, it is really getting done. So don't get caught up in the 15 minutes. It's not just 15 minutes, it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes can, right now you're trying to catch up from the messiness that has invaded your house. If you will start with the flat surfaces, getting those flat surfaces cleared off, and make sure you keep them cleared off with hot spot 2-minute fire drills every day before you go to bed. So let's say you get home from work, you get dinner on the table, you get the kids bathed and in bed, you stay up till midnight, you still got to get up at 6 o'clock. You're worn out. But if you go to bed when the kids go to bed, you get your 8 hours in, you're going to be spry as you can be first thing in the morning. Get dressed to lace up shoes. Think about what's for dinner before you leave the house. Even if you don't get anything out, you can put it over into the refrigerator to thaw. Or think about the night before as part of your before bed routine to do that. Just don't, and just read one email and delete at will. These emails are here to help you. They're free and they're here to help you. And it doesn't take I was talking to my friend Tammy this morning, and we were talking about reading Proverbs. It's kind of like a meditation thing that I do every morning. I pull up Bible Gateway and let it read me one chapter in Proverbs every day. Today's the 15th. I read chapter 15. Now, when you do that every day, it only takes 3 minutes to read a whole chapter in the Bible. 3 minutes. And it reads it to me. So, reading one of my emails doesn't take long. You just think it takes long. They're usually 500 words or less, and you can read it in no time at all. If you read it out loud to yourself, it kind of gets into your head, and other people in the family might hear it. It's changing the way you think, because right now you're all negative about everything. I don't have time. I can't do that. I can't read your emails. Blah, 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 blah. It's all whining, and you got to stop it. Because when you stop the whining, you get more respect from your family. When you stop the nagging, you get more respect from your family. I know I'm on a soapbox here, but I want you to have some peace in your home. And the only way you can do that is to get up off your butt and do 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Because you come in from work and you plop down. Some of you are trying to spout out orders. I know, because I lived with this when I was a kid. Mother would spout all these orders. She was a perfectionist. And if we didn't do it her way, we had to do it over again. I've no telling how many times I had to clean a bathroom because it wasn't a suitor. But swish and swipe every day keeps it looking pretty decent. You can do this. You really can. Those of you who works outside the home. You just got to quit whining that it's not going to work for you. Because as my granny said, can't never could do anything. And if you think that you can't do it, you won't be able to do it. But if you think you can, you will. And 2 minutes is the key. 2 minutes. I know I'm getting bossy here, but I'm the oldest and I get to be bossy. So we still got one more question on that one, and I am about to run out of juice. I love you all. Still got lots of questions. We will be hitting on those because they hit everything. I'm telling you. Oh, ironing, multitasking. Ironing and listening is not multitasking, but you're getting stuff done. Folding clothes and listening is good. You can do this. Start reading Proverbs every day. If it's the 15th, read chapter 15. If it's the 16th, tomorrow read chapter 16. Everybody needs to read Proverbs every month. It's all about how to raise your family, how to raise yourself. I love you all. I will see you next week. I like doing Fridays. It's kind of cool. Yesterday we had a lot of fun at the fair though. So if you live in North Carolina and Western North Carolina, go to the fair. It's really good this year. I love you all. You can do this. I know you can. For those of you on Facebook who aren't on Facebook, I'm going to put I don't know why I'm telling you this. This is silly. I'm silly. So I'm going to be putting it up on Facebook, and it's going to be on Facebook, our website, and on YouTube. See you later.